Did you know there are 3 incredibly tiny things that if you change in your golf swing, you will instantly start to hit drivers straighter and strike your irons much more solid, but every single golfer seems to ignore them. They've made the game far more complicated. These 3 things instantly make a difference. They instantly make a difference to every single one of my students' ability to hit driver and strike their irons. And do you know what? Embarrassingly so, I too recently were ignoring them and it was costing me. I'm going to go into that in a second. But before I do, look, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing or at least videos like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. But you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free download practice guide in the description box below. So when you want to improve your driver or your irons, where do you start? That is a question that I get asked time and time again from all of my students. Well, look, whether you're a beginner golfer, intermediate golfer, advanced, or even a professional like myself, you start right here on the simple stuff. Now, personally, I was ignoring it recently. I had a recent session with a good friend of mine, Graham Walker, coach to Tommy Fleetwood, and I spent a bit of time with him, hit a few shots, and he said, Danny, take a look at this. And I'd been hitting some hooks. I'd been struggling with my ball striking, not as accurate as a lightweight driver. And I looked at it, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I went, oh my God. I'd got so lazy with these basics. Now, the first basic is this. My grip. And I see this with every single golfer. My grip, your grip, is like if you're struggling with your ball striking and your direction, my bet is just like me, your grip is corrupting your golf swing. So the first thing we're going to do today is make sure 110% that your grip is spot on. Now, most people ignore it. They'll switch past this. I've heard grip 1,000 times. Me too, right? But mine had got very, very strong without me even realizing. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, look. When you look down at your lead hand, for instance, I should be able to see maybe just a couple of 2.5 knuckles on my lead hand with the thumb just sitting to the side. I'll show you how to set up to this in a second. But unfortunately, my grip, my left hand grip had turned so much over here without me realizing it had become incredibly what we call strong. In reality, it meant that my club face through impact wanted to close down rapidly, right? What does that do in my golf swing? Well, my golf swing as a byproduct was corrupted. It now was swinging, my body was moving in such a way to counter that and try to keep that face from closing down. So I started to slide. I started to push my hands forward. That would get me leaning back a little bit, sometimes catching the ground a fraction behind the golf ball. Blocking almost like a cricket cover drive. It was really ruining my golf swing, all because of the grip. Yeah. Now, with a lot of my amateur students, who often maybe are slicers, not hookers, their grip will be too much turned this way, too weak, where I can barely see any knuckles. The club gets high in the palm. I'll show you how to grip in a second. But what that does is it leaves the face wide open. As a byproduct, what they do is they do their best. The body does its best to try to get the club back to square. But watch this. As it's trying to get back to square, now suddenly, like, we get into scoopy chicken wing fashion. Why? Because that's the only way. Because if I got my hands ahead of the golf ball with a very weak grip, the chances are the face is going to be wide open. You'll be hitting it out to the right. So you then start to kind of do this to try and square it. A change in the grip sometimes is all that you need to instantly change your swing. So let's start with that premise first. So all Graham did with me really simply initially was, look, he just gave me a grip trainer. I'll put a link to that grip trainer in the description box below. But I'm going to show you how to grip it really effectively. Hold the club out at 45 degrees like this, okay? Now take your lead hand, and all you're going to do here, look, is make sure that the grip end here runs through the middle of your finger to the base of your little finger. Can you see this? Yeah? Then look, we're going to grip. Simple as that. You're going to simply hold the grip. Now, if I bring a bit closer, you should be able to see now, look, 1, 2.5 knuckles. And this thumb is just sitting just to the right of center. If you are too weak, the chances are, see, I've got this kind of little thing here. You're too much on this side. I was too strong over here. This just sets it absolutely perfectly. Now with the trail hand here, all we're going to do, look, is we're going to run the grip along the fingers here of that trail hand. And look here, look, right hand's coming on, pinching that grip here. And notice this, I'm not grabbing it. This is together here, and it's absolutely spot on. This is why the grip trainer is very, very useful. It just makes life a lot easier to start with, but this is vitally important. So just one more thing on the grip. Take a look at here. What do you notice? Can you see how my hands are joined together? I join my hands by just putting my little finger, look, over my index finger like this. Keep it really simple. Some players like to have what we call an interlocking grip, where they interlock these two fingers, and other players like a baseball 10-finger grip where all fingers are on the club. I don't really have a preference as long as your hands are on the club what we call fairly neutrally. I don't want too much like I was, which is turned this way too strong. That's in basically a hook position. And I don't like them too weak in a slice position. I like them somewhere fairly neutral like that, okay? Now, before I get on to the other two tips that Graham reminded me of, let me just give you a quick bonus tip. Now you've got a really healthy grip. So I want to show you how your hands and arms work effectively in the golf swing because it really helps your accuracy and your power. So take a golf club, put it out in front of you like this. Now all I want you to do is keeping the butt fairly consistent here, just down level like this. Just hinge the club upwards so it pitches inside, just on your trail shoulder here, and you'll notice it's almost like level with the left arm, almost parallel with the left arm. This, by the way, is now how the hands and arms work in your backswing. This is it. The trail elbow's folding beautifully. This is setting you up, right? Absolutely perfect. Now, on the way down, I'll come to that in a second, but look at how this kind of is going to hugely help you now in the backswing. As you swing back, we're going to imagine this motion. Blend it in with a turn look. The trail elbow sitting down, and that's it. That's your backswing. It's just everything's beautifully, look, folding into the backswing. So what do you need to do now on the way down? Well, look at this. This is your backswing here. On the way down here, watch, we're now going to pitch the club over our lead shoulder, and what happens to the lead arm now? That sits down. It doesn't pop out, it just sits down. This is the downswing. So now it looks like this. Fold it back, it's coming down, and now look, releases and folds through beautifully. I couldn't do that. Why? Because if I'd have done this, watch this. If my face is really closed because of my grip, if I start to kind of do this, what's going to happen? It's going to shut even more. So I start to do this to try and hit it straight, ruining my swing all because of the grip. Now, if you have the opposite and it's got an open face, do you think here you're going to be letting this open even more on the bird back? No, the chances are you're going to be basically trying to square it. It'll ruin the swing, all right? So let me hit a shot for you now. And just get in the feel of it. And this is kind of what I want you to do. You get yourself set here. You might even want, I've been doing a little bit recently, little kind of reminder of this kind of motion here. Get yourself set. So that just feels completely and utterly effortless. It feels like I can just beautifully flow through the shot, and I can flow through it because of the grip. Now, I want to bring you in on this kind of private lesson between me and Graham. I usually keep this in a vault that I only share with my members on dannymaude.com, but I thought it was so valuable. Graham's going to go through the setup, small tweaks in the setup that really improve your driver swing and your iron swing. It's incredibly valuable. Check it out right now. You're going to absolutely love it.
If I stood there like that,
yeah,
I would be the club head in from that there.
Yeah.
My armpits there would be there, and they would be through my knees there. That would be 6 iron. That's my what I would often call my gate.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
If you give me a 6 iron now,
yeah,
you'll see. And I turn my right foot out a little bit, my left foot out a little bit. You got it?
Yep.
And I just wrap that around my toe there like that.
Yep.
You see how that's into the Project X, into the X of Project X?
Yeah.
And you see, so if I just touch it now, like that, just on the edge of my left foot,
Yeah.
that's my right foot's turned out, it's just there on the X, you get it?
Yep.
Right, you got an 8 iron? Pass me your 8 iron. Yep. And get me your 4 iron as well. There's your 4 iron, there's your 8 iron, there's your 6 iron, there's your 8 iron.
Okay, I see where you're
Left
going.
heel,
Yep.
club head away from there,
Yep.
right foot,
yeah,
and
right.
that gives you the gate.
So let me just quickly clarify what Graham's saying there. Ball position remains constant, a club inside your lead foot. The only thing that changes is as the club gets longer, look from pitching wedge here to 8 iron, to 6 iron, to 4 iron. Your stance gets slightly wider. This gives the impression that ball position has actually changed, but it hasn't, look. That's my pitching wedge, it looks quite central in my stance, and this is my 4 iron, now looks like it's forward. The ball position hasn't changed, which means that the swing can remain the same each and every single time. Your angle of attack, your low point, everything remains constant, and all you're doing is changing that stance width. What about things like the, what about things like a 3 wood, would that change?
Show you.
Yep.
So if I stand there with 3 wood,
Yep.
I look at it, I can have the club head that way, but I'd like to almost like feel that it's a ball there. So often, I'd have it as ball away there, right?
Yep.
So my 3 wood would be there.
Okay.
So if you look at your 3 wood there now like that,
Yeah.
see where your 3 wood is? Just inside that
Just
blue
inside
line.
that, yeah. Got it. So with all the irons, the ball position is staying constant.
Yeah.
But with the
3 wood, move it up by the ball.
By a ball.
And then you'll see that that'll be 2 or 3 on the way down. That's what that will.
Maybe passing it a little bit further left because of it. Yeah.
And then driver.
Yeah.
Right. So I like to get the bottom of the club to touch it.
Yeah.
Happy?
Yep.
I like to get my left heel at the end of it.
Yep.
Put my right foot there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Symmetrical. And then just,
when you say symmetrical, what do you mean?
as in I feel evenly balanced, evenly shoulders, etc.
Yep.
And then I feel that all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to lean to my right a fraction till that touches my ankle,
Yep.
heel, and that will give me my correct path numbers with the driver.
Got it. Yeah. Super simple. And so what you're really saying with this is, or you're showing how important setup is.
Yeah.
At maintaining consistency with every club in the bag.
Yeah. You see, you want to be able to do that, which is just clip the ball on line.
Yeah.
You're not trying to, that's not, and to me, that doesn't look hard work for you.
No, it's not at all.
That doesn't look like having to overthink it.
So I hope you've realised that the smallest things that most of the time you're ignoring will make the biggest differences to your game. Personally, when he talks about ball position, my ball position was getting too far back, my stance was getting too far wide. That brings on more hooks. If your ball position gets too far forward, it will bring on more slices. So getting a system that gets it correct every single time is vital for every club in your bag. Now look, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with one of your friends. And if you'd like to know more about how this trail arm works in your golf swing, check this video right here. And of course, look, if you want to get access to the vault, as it were, head on over to dannymaude.com and become a member over there. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.